Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today, our theme is on the energy body. The ancient yogis imagined the energy body as having a flow through certain channels that came through the front, the sides, the backs, the up and down, all through the body. And their aim was to make the energy flow, the prana flow, or allow it to flow. The prana comes in with the breath and then distributes through the body with the exhale. They also, however, the ancient yogis talked about knots or blockages in the nadis, those channels. And the part of what happens in yoga is that we become aware of where there are some of those knots or blockages, and then with subtle movements, trying to work those out a bit and allow the prana to flow, kind of empower the prana. So that's where we're at today, using some qigong and also some yoga to bring about our awareness of the energy body. Please come to a standing position. We're going to start by breathing in a standing position, a mental alternate nostril breathing. And just first of all, feeling the feet below you, the gravity through the belly and down the legs into the feet, the softness in shoulders and arms. And then a little lift up through the Sushumna, that central channel of the body, up through the crown, welcoming in the breath, the inflow of energy and prana from the great capital P prana all through the universe into the small p prana of our bodies. And with the exhale, letting that prana seep through our whole bodies. Every part beginning to open up to the energy that is life. Now beginning just mentally to breathe in through the left nostril, letting that crest, and then breathing out through the right nostril. Breathing in through the right nostril, letting that peak, and breathing out through the left nostril. Gradually letting that intake and outtake of breath and prana to extend through the whole torso, from abdomen up through the nostril, inhaling and exhaling. Invitation to sense the flow of energy through the body, the bottom of the feet, up through the legs, up through shoulder, and the head, and down the other side. And just to notice any knots or blockages in the flow of prana. Trusting that here, even the breath can help to work those out. The reading from Joan Halifax, with the typical frankness and honesty of Zen teachers. May I offer my care and presence unconditionally, knowing it may be met by gratitude, indifference, anger, or anguish. May I offer love, knowing that I cannot control the course of life, suffering, or death. May I find the inner resources to truly be able to give. The challenge in this Thanksgiving time. Let's rub our palms together. Bring the feet just a little wider than hip width apart. The palms have so many nerves in them. It's an easy place to feel the tingling of the energy and prana in the body, and making a circle with the arms in front of the heart. There's a soft gaze as you trace that energy coming up through the lower arms and elbows, up through the upper arms, into the softening of the shoulders, into the area of the heart and the lungs. Then inhaling as hands come to the heart, and exhaling as hands push up, as if they were pushing up a light cloud. Inhaling heart, and exhaling as the arms rise, perhaps feeling some flow of prana through shoulders and up through arms. Just choosing your own duration, your own range of motion. And noticing any place that might need a little bit more pause or subtle movement to open it. 2 more times. Bringing palms down, a little rub again, just to make us more conscious of that energy in our body, coming into the circle of prana. Feeling that through as the breath enters through lungs and heart, setting off all those chemical reactions of life in our bodies. And bringing hands to the heart once again, one hand pushing up, one hand pushing down, opening up that central channel, the Sushumna. Hands come back with an inhale and exhaling as they push up and down. Finding your own rhythm. Inviting the prana to flow between the hands. Perhaps a sensation of the prana flowing from hand all the way down to the opposite foot. Feeling the prana come in through the breath and distribute through the exhale. And coming back through center, rubbing the hands together, and this time little bounce in the knees, hips and knees a little soft. As hands come apart, feeling the energy between the hands, almost like a magnet, attracting and repelling. Shaping that energy between the hands, letting that feeling of energy come into the solar plexus, that place of fire within the body. And then bringing the hands back together, rubbing just a bit, turning the hands so that one hand comes up and one down. A sensation of flow of energy between the hands and up and down the organs of the body. And one last time. Taking a forward fold, scooping up some earth energy with soft knees, bringing that up the body, up to the neck, the heart, the solar plexus, and down to the belly, the inner ocean. 2 more times, scooping up energy, Bringing it up, opening the central channel of the body, and coming down to that rich area of energy in the pelvic bowl. Then bringing the legs a little wider. Hips come out towards the back. Rub the hands together, bring them apart. As they come together, raise the hips coming into a forward fold. Then hips come down and rise up as you bring that up the body and back to the belly. Hips come out to the back, rub the hands, bring the hands wide. Hips rise slightly as the hands come down towards the earth, scoop up the earth energy, bring it up the body, and bring it into the earth of the body in the belly. One last time, hips out to the back, rubbing the hands together, bringing them wide, melding your own energy with the energy of the earth as you bring it up to the heart, hands to the belly. Just a moment here to pause, to come into the backdrop of life, of energy. And bringing the feet just slightly wider than hip width apart. And imagining you are holding a ball of prana or chi, feeling its roundness, bringing the weight into one foot, and then turning the ball and coming over to the other foot. Turning the ball, coming over to the other foot, back and forth, feeling the flow of energy between the palms, and the flow of energy between the feet. Now opening some flow of energy through the hips, noticing any places that have some blockages in the flow, being gentle with those places, having faith that over time they will work themselves out, but letting the prana flow through them to the extent it can today. Then coming back through center, bring the hands out in front once again, making a frame. Feet are a little wider than hip width apart. Inhale at center, then bring the frame up as the ribs turn to one side, cow gazing at the moon. Coming back through center with an inhale of the prana and breath, exhaling to the other side, connecting one's own prana with the prana of the moon, the prana of all the celestial bodies of space. It's your own range of motion and your own pace. Letting self go into the movement and prana of the energy body. One more time to each side. Coming back through center, hands come to the side. Cross the hands, bend the knees, hips come up, come back slightly. Fountain up, and open up through the hands and the chest, imagining the energy of water around you, all of the forms of water within you, alive and fountaining in just the right way for the body. Find your own pace here. Can you feel the nadis, those conduits of energy opening? One last time. Hands come to the side, and then opening the palms to the side, gathering the energy from all around you, bringing it together over the head, and slowly coming down the body, feeling that energy opening through the hum of the brain, in the space of the neck, in the beat of the heart, in the digestive fire, the inner ocean, and the groundedness of the lower body. 2 more times. All the cells of the brains getting soft and open. The flow through the neck. The softness and smoothness of the heartbeat. The slow kindling of the digestive fire. The soft rippling of the ocean. And the strong stability of the earth. Now bringing the arms out to the horizon, coming into the yoga part of the practice after the qigong part. Reaching out through the fingertips, awakening that flow of prana through shoulders, out through arms, elbows, wrists, maybe turning the fingers up slightly, inviting the prana to whatever sensation you are feeling. Maybe you feel the prana with some tingling or some heat. Maybe opening the fingertips, deciding what is right for your flow and your blockages. Just holding here for a moment, softening through the shoulders. Then making fists, soft fists, and bringing the fists down as the wrists bend down, and then bend up and down. And continue with that. Wrists, experiencing that flow of prana. Then coming back to neutral, spreading the fingers and turning the palms up, turning palms down, back and forth. Inviting that flow of energy up through elbows and even into shoulders a bit. Then bringing palms down, fingers spread, a slight movement towards the thumb and then back towards the little finger, back and forth. palms just flat. Then bring the left arm down. Let the right arm stay out. Bring the right shoulder blade in towards the spine and pull the right breastbone in a little bit. Then turn the whole arm as the palm comes up and down, turns up and down, but feeling that perhaps more up through the shoulder joint. So awakening that energy of the shoulder joint. Then bringing the right hand down to the side, just pausing for a moment to feel the difference between the sides. Definitely for me, a difference in shoulder energy and prana flow. Then the left arm comes up, spreading out the fingers, bringing the left shoulder blade in towards the spine and the breastbone coming in as well towards the center of the body, and then turning the palm up and down slowly, allowing that prana flow to ripple up through the arm into the shoulder joint. One last turn, and then bringing hands down. Bring one hand to chest and one hand to belly for just a little pause, an offering of presence, unconditional presence. And we'll come down into a tabletop position. First of all, arranging the body for this flow of energy for cat-cow. Hands are right under shoulders, feeling a little bit of that flow of energy from hands up through shoulders as you extend up through the shoulders slightly, pressing the hands into the earth. Squaring the hips. And then an articulated cat-cow as the tailbone slowly rises, the belly scoops, the chest comes forward slightly, and the chin and gaze rise slightly. Then tucking the tailbone, the rise through the spinal column, the tucking of the chin. Feeling the articulation of the spine. Inviting a noticing of any blockages or discomfort that you might feel along the travel of prana through the spine. Taking any pauses where you might feel an interruption, some subtle movements that might help to work those out. Inviting a just smooth, even flow of the prana and the breath. One last time. And bringing hips back to heels, arms extended out in front. Nice long stretch, or any kind of child's pose that you would like. Stretching back just a little farther through the sacrum and the tailbone. Where do you feel the flow of prana here? And coming back up into tabletop. Lifting up the left arm and bringing it down onto the mat, the hand back down onto the mat. Then the right arm comes up. Slight twist, and that right hand comes down, back down to the mat. will alternate slowly back and forth, aware of a slight twist as the arm rises, aware of any places where things are a little bit stuck, or maybe you need to bring the range of motion in a little bit to accommodate the issues of the body. It's finding some ease in this particular flow of prana. Pausing where you need to. And bringing one hand up, you might just keep that up there for a moment, or you might bring that hand back behind on the sacrum to just increase the twist a little bit more. But very aware of your own flow of prana and what that is needing right now. And then option to raise the arm on the other side and bring that hand also back behind the sacrum. There should be ease, maybe not always complete enjoyment, but ease in the movement. And bring that hand down. And let's let ourselves do a few come through thread of the needle, bringing one arm up, bringing it through under the armpit, coming down onto the shoulder and the side of the head, settling down, letting the prana settle. Even as you might feel some flow of prana through that shoulder. Just finding a place of ease. And then lifting up. If this is not right for your shoulder, find another way to bring some ease to the body here for a moment and some settling. And coming out of the thread, the needle, bring the hips back once again, and stretch back. Seems like there's always a little bit more, flow to encourage as you come back into this extended child's pose. I always feel a little bit more room and space to expand into. Then coming into a tabletop again, with room to bring a leg back, bringing the toe and then the balls of the foot back behind you, stretching back through the foot, maybe pausing there for a moment, feeling it through the bottom of the foot, perhaps the Achilles heel, the calf, and then coming forward on the toes just a bit in a small pulse, back and forth, letting prana flow through the back of the leg, through the toes, through the plantar fascia. When one moves slowly, can be quite delicious and increases the sensation quite a bit. Then option to come on the front of the foot, so putting the front of toes on the mat behind you, and just for a moment feeling the prana in the front of the foot, and perhaps up. I got a little muscle cramp there in the back of my foot, and up through the shin, and then bring that knee back. Other leg comes back, tuck the toes, going from the balls of the feet, slowly up onto the toes and back, inviting a flow of prana through toes and foot, Achilles heel and calf. Pausing any place that there is some interruption of flow. Maybe some subtle movements to open it up a little bit more. Or curtailing the range of motion to just what is right for you. Then coming onto the front of the toe for just a moment and inviting some flow up through the front of the foot. And bringing that knee in. Now we're going to swivel the feet over towards the left. So shins and feet over to the left. The left hand comes over to the edge of the mat and the right hand comes beside it. So we're coming into a side bend within the tabletop. The challenge here is to keep some length in the Sushumna, that central channel. Naturally, you get some length through the right side or the long side of the side bend, but try to keep some length as well in the inner side, the left side here. Feeling some length between, some slight length between the top of the pelvic bowl and the bottom of the ribs, a little bit of length through the ribs, and of course through the spinal column. Then coming back through center, swivel the feet over to the right. Right hand comes to the edge of the mat and left hand comes beside it. Thinking of empowering the spinal column with its flow of prana, keeping the opening on the inside of the side bend as well as the outside of the side bend. Feeling any places of interruption or discomfort. And perhaps that just becomes a knowledge of a place that you can work with. And coming back through center. Let's come down into a sphinx for just a moment. And even in the humble sphinx pose, there is a flow of prana up through the legs, up through the back, from the pelvic floor up through the ribs, and then that smooth evenness of shoulders and breath. And for the vagus nerve, we're going to bring our eyes over to the left, then turn the neck towards the left to look over the shoulders. So eyes and neck are turning, chin going towards the shoulder, holding, coming back through center, eyes go over to the right and chin goes towards the shoulder on the right. Coming back through center, again, eyes go to the left, chin goes to the left shoulder, and then let that side bend ripple down through the spine, but hips remain stable. So it's only from the waist up that you have a kind of side bend, a rippling down through the spine. Then coming down around through the front, eyes go to the right, chin goes to the right shoulder, and letting that movement ripple down through the spine. Just playing with the energy body here. Hands come under the shoulders, and as you might predict, we're coming up into downward dog. And here we want to be definitely aware of that central channel of the Sushumna. Letting it become very long, knees are bent, fingers are wide, broad across the shoulder blades. Energy, body coming up through the sides, inner seams of the arms, through the sides of the body, and back through the abdomen as the hips reach back just a little bit more. That length of prana flow from the bottom of the tailbone all the way up through the crown. And then pedaling the legs. Often being able to feel that little bit of discomfort in the prana flow in the back of the legs, but having sympathy for the knees, right, and for the whole posterior chain as you keep some break and by keeping some softness in the knees. And coming to the full extent of your downward dog. All of the prana flow and knowledge of any granthis or blockages in that, then bringing the knees down and coming into a restful child's pose for a moment. Letting the prana settle. Pausing into that unconditional backdrop of life. And extending arms forward. We'll just come up to a downward dog, enough to walk hands and feet together. So stretch into downward dog, feet come forward, hands come back. And let's come into a forward fold. Big toes might be pointing in towards each other slightly. Hips are high, knees are soft, hands are dangling down. And that Sushumna is open, spacious between the vertebrae. Then bending the knees, bringing the arms wide, gaze and chest are forward as you rise up. Let's take a moment with hand on chest and hand on belly, or some gesture to feel. The energy body. Does it have a temperature? A tingling? A teacher asked whether it had a color. I wasn't sure about the answer to that for myself. Something to consider. And then bringing hands down. Bring the feet wide, not overly wide, comfortably wide, with toes out a bit. Then pivoting the right foot so that the toes come forward to the mat, knee bends, other foot comes back to where you want it for warrior two, with thinking about what torque you want in the back of that leg. Feeling the connection between the bottom of the feet, the mat, and the earth. The bottom of the feet also full of nerves that help us feel our energy body. And then bringing hands up to the heart and opening out. Relaxing down through shoulder blades. Feeling the height and width of warrior two. A rich flow of energy. Imagining yourself just as a flow, a glow of energy, a warrior of giving and love. Now we're going to come into what's called Happy Warrior. Take a mudra, if you choose, to bring the forefinger and thumb together in a circle, and other fingers are free. So a circle, which signifies the individual and the universe in contact with each other, in touch with each other with this circle. Bringing hands up overhead, relaxing down through the shoulders. And back, hand comes down onto the leg, and coming into what can be called exalted warrior, as you come into a kind of side reverse back bend, and kind of a little bit of back bend, side bend, over. And then coming out of that, back into warrior two. Feeling again that prana flow through heart, out through fingertips. Taking on the mudra, coming into happy warrior. Relaxing down through shoulder blades and down through the belly and down into the feet. Just as you exalt up through the hands. And then bringing one hand down and coming into that reverse side bend. And sweeping back into warrior two. Bring hands to the hips, let feet come so that toes are forward or a little bit outwards. Take a moment, a pause, and then pivoting the left foot around, left knee bends, finding your narrowness or width that you would like. Aware of the torque in the back leg. Inviting in the prana from the earth into the prana of the legs and the belly, up through the digestion area, into heart and lungs, opening out through fingertips. Just inviting the prana to flow. Aware of any places of blockage. With faith that the prana will flow better and better. Then bringing hands up, taking the mudra up into happy warrior. Feeling happy warrior from the bottom of your feet up through your fingertips. Back hand comes back onto the back thigh, into exalted warrior. Ooh, some good prana flow through the side front of the body there, as well as the back. Back into warrior two. Perhaps feeling the heat and tingling of this basic warrior pose. Warrior of loving and giving. Coming into happy warrior once again. And back into exalted warrior. Coming back through warrior two. Hands come to hip creases, toe, heel, the feet back together. And perhaps a gesture of hand on belly and hand on chest. Letting the prana distribute throughout the body. Feeling the softening and tingling throughout the torso, down into the legs and feet, arms and hands, neck, eyes, ears, brain. And bringing hands down, we're going to come into chair pose. So feet are under the hips, hips are coming back, hands come forward. Feel that distance between the fingertips and the back of the sacrum. Then lifting up, coming into A frame, hands with palms forward, shoulder blades coming together, opening, perhaps a new flow of prana across the chest and between the shoulder blades. Back into chair, finding just the right level of chair for the body. Back into the back bend. 2 more times at your own pace. We'll do a shooting star balance. This is a little different than we usually do in the way we get into it. So making one foundation leg, perhaps through the right leg, making that strong leg, strong contact between the foot and the floor. Then the left toe comes out to the side on the mat, and the right arm, the opposite arm, comes up. This may bring a nice flow of diagonal prana through the very center of the body, between the toe and the fingertips, up the arm, down the leg. And then raising the left arm up, other arm up, and feeling maybe a lesser flow of prana there. Option here to keep your toe on the mat or to lift it and bring it up and down, or to keep it up for a little while. Just thinking of this as a kind of play between the body and gravity. Aware of that heat from the very center of the body radiating out through the limbs. And bring it down. Shake a little bit. Let the body shake some of its prana down into the earth, perhaps. And then let the left foot become the foundation leg. Good connection with earth up through the hip. Right toe comes out. Left hand reaches up. Take a moment to feel that flow of energy. Other arm comes up. And then playing with gravity and body. Yourself a star of energy, a shooting star of energy on the earth. Unique. No one else is you. And then bringing that down. Let's take a step forward, hands are on hips. A step forward, just about the length of a foot in between the feet. All toes are forward. Bringing the hands down to the hip creases, to the hip joints. The torso comes forward, arms come forward, slight softness in that front knee. And then hands can dangle down. And this is an experiment, finding how the prana flow feels, where you feel some need to bring some healing to those blockages. Option to bring the hands to the shins and press into the shin, letting the lower back extend forward. So either one of these positions, the dangling arms or the hands on the shin, then lifting up strong through the belly. Hands come back behind, interlacing by the buttocks, pulling down, bringing the shoulder blades together. Letting the body come forward, feeling the flow of energy through leg, through lower back, coming back up into the interlaced fingers and the open chest. One last time forward. Perhaps the dangling arms and the press on the shin. Pausing wherever you would like. And this time coming back with fingers extended down the sacrum and the heels of the hands up at the top of the pelvic bowl. Strong through the glute on the back leg. And bringing the shoulder blades together for a back bend. Then change the feet. Hands come onto the hip creases. Torso comes forward. Hands dangle down. Aware of the prana in the back of the legs, adjusting as you need to with whatever subtle movements to relieve any knots. And make it a gradual opening. Hands might come to the shin, and then rising up, interlacing fingers, opening through the chest as shoulder blades come together. Now the flow of prana starts to feel a little smoother, perhaps, as we have opened the nadi channels, the conduits of energy. And one last time, perhaps dangling down, pressing into the shin. And as you rise up, this time bringing the hands onto the back of the sacrum, strong through that glute in the back leg, and opening as elbows and shoulder blades come towards each other. And bringing feet together. Let's come down into a lying position. I will stay sitting, but please come into a lying position where all that prana can settle and sink down, melt down into some union with the earth energy. Just letting yourself feel the soft energy all around you and under you and through you. Then bringing the lower back down against the mat in a pelvic tilt, lumbar spine articulating down onto the mat, and then lifting up gently, leaving some space between the small of the back and the mat. And pressing the lumbar spine down, back and forth. Feeling the kind of beauty of that communication between the spinal column and all the nerves of the spine and what we might call the nerves of the earth. And 2 more touches down to earth. And coming back through neutral, bend the knees, soles of feet on the earth, and windshield wiper the legs back and forth. Feet are not so far apart, and hips remain stable. So this is not a large windshield wiper, but the knees going from side to side and finding whatever is comfortable for you. Feeling that prana flow through hips, feet, and legs, and belly. And taking a moment to spread limbs, feet coming wide to each side of the mat, and hands coming to a T or perhaps to a Y above the head, becoming a star on earth. And letting the brightness of your star shine and relax, full of prana, full of the glow of life. Full of the love that comes forth even as we know we are not in control of life, or the course of life, or the reactions of other people. Accepting this inner resource of flowing prana, to be thankful at this Thanksgiving and to give with a wholesome heart. Namaste.